The emergency session light pulsed amber above the Exaluri High Assembly. 40 minutes. That was the scheduled duration, a routine classification hearing for a newly contacted species. Their file was thin, their technology unremarkable. Their delegation consisted of one individual. I adjusted my posture on the council bench, my hollow bones grateful for the 0.3G environment. The gravity here was comfortable, manageable. Nothing like the crushing weight of my homeworld's deeper pressure chambers. The human entered at 1402. Protocol Officer Vethmar announced him. Delegate Weston Birch. Species 4471. Designation, Earth. The number you are about to hear has been restricted in 14 systems. Weston Birch walked like a being who had never once considered falling. Mid-40s. Calm expression. He carried a thermal container in one hand and a data pad in the other. On the pad's display, visible but entirely ignored, an atmospheric readout glowed softly. I noted it, filed it, did not yet understand it. His file listed infrastructure maintenance as his occupation. A plumbing specialist. The Drelkani delegate to my left made a sound I interpreted as dismissal. The human sat, took a sip from his thermal container, did not scan the chamber for threats, did not adjust his posture to the gravity, did not flinch when the environmental system cycled. He walked as if 0.3G was insufficient. My aide whispered, his species file is incomplete. Low priority cataloging. I nodded. 40 minutes. Council Chair Thessa of the Vorthani opened the standard classification questionnaire. State your world's atmospheric composition for the record. The human shrugged. Nitrogen, oxygen, oxygen. The usual, behind him. The containment protocol team entered. 3 armored specialists. Routine for new species. A precautionary measure in case of biological contamination or aggressive response. Birch turned, looked at them, then lifted his thermal container. Want some coffee? 3 delegates blinked. The containment team's leader froze mid-step. I watched my aide's datapad tremble in her grip. No species offers refreshments to containment protocol. Then the Drelkani delegate performed his dominance display. Ridge plates flaring. Body expanded to maximum visible volume. Standard intimidation. Every new species flinched at least once. Birch glanced up, nodded politely, looked back at his datapad. The Drelkani's plates locked mid-display. My aide's pad clattered to the floor. I hadn't noticed I'd stopped breathing. The chair continued. For the record, what is the atmospheric pressure on your world of origin? Birch didn't pause, didn't emphasize, didn't look up from his datapad. About 101 kPa. Standard. 7 words. My display lit up with the environmental system's cross-reference. The number appeared before the translation finished. 101.325 kPa. My organ membranes compressed. An involuntary pressure awareness response. My species cannot suppress. It happened before my conscious mind could ask why. My chest contracted. My secondary lungs seized. The Palathi delegate's blink rate tripled. I watched her calculate escape routes to the emergency airlock. The Thisani representative's joints locked rigid. A junior aide ran the conversion. I saw the result reflected in his pupil dilation. 101.325 kPa was 3 times the galactic habitation standard. 3 times. The human took another sip from his thermal container. He didn't know what he had just said. Behind me, someone whispered, "Rerun the conversion." The scanner confirmed it. Atmospheric pressure, 101.325 kPa. Classification E extreme. Warning, this environment would rupture ciliary lung tissue in approximately 11 seconds of unprotected exposure. The chamber's automated threat classification system triggered. First time in 40 years for a classification hearing. The sound was a low harmonic pulse. I had read about it in procedural manuals, never heard it live. Now it vibrated through my hollow bones, and my chromatophores shifted to a defensive grey I could not control. Classification reassignment initiated. Species 4471. Parameter, atmospheric tolerance. Thresholders exceeds database. The scanner wasn't wrong. The Vorthani archivist extinction-era records. Her datapad glowed with ancient file markers. Documents most species deleted after the 3rd galactic expansion. She found one match, a theoretical species, never confirmed, filed under a category I had never seen before. Impossible biology. The human sipped his coffee, Council Chair Thessa's voice cracked. Protocol 7. The words landed like a pressure seal slamming shut. Delegates' personal shields activated. Blue shimmer fields flickered across 14 species delegations simultaneously. The Palathi delegate's shield flickered twice. Hers was older, untested. She didn't seem to care. She was already whispering into her wrist comm. 3 delegations requested immediate communication with their homeworlds, not through official channels, direct. Emergency frequency. The Cora Fleet liaison stood, walked to the exit, didn't ask permission, didn't excuse himself, just left. 4 minutes. That was how long it took for 14 system defense fleets to receive updated contact protocols for species 4471. The Korath liaison transmitted from the hallway. His voice was calm, professional. The words he sent were not: reclassify all patrol routes near Sol system, expand perimeter by 40 light years. The Meridi Diplomatic Corps sent a formal request. They wanted the humans' atmospheric data classified above ambassador clearance. Above ambassador. I watched a Thessani representative's aide run calculations. Her stylus moved faster than any being should move. She was computing trade projections, not for existing agreements, for future ones. A species that breathes 101, kPa doesn't negotiate from weakness. 2 delegations withdrew their trade proposals, not from hostility. The Palathi delegate made that clear in her whisper. They withdrew because their negotiating position had fundamentally changed. You cannot trade with a being who considers your maximum pressure tolerance a mild afternoon. Birch watched the chamber empty. His expression shifted. Not to fear, not to confusion, just mild curiosity. He looked at the containment team. They were still frozen by the door, their training manuals offering no protocol for a species that offers coffee during a security sweep. He looked at the council chair. Thessa's personal shield was the brightest in the room. She was also the only delegate still seated. She stared at her display. The number was still there, 101.325, blinking. The human turned to me. We were alone now. 14 delegations reduced to 2 beings and a frozen containment team. Was it something I said? His voice was casual, warm, like he had asked a neighbor about the weather. My translator processed the words. My cultural database offered no parallel. No species in recorded galactic history had ever asked that question after triggering Protocol 7. The Council's classification system displayed a blinking cursor where species 4471's designation should be. It had been blinking for 6 hours. I knew this because I had not left my seat. My organ membranes had stopped compressing. My chromatophores had settled into a pale, resigned beige. I had simply stayed. The human had been offered complimentary quarters 3 hours ago. He accepted, asked if the room had a coffee maker. The attendant had no idea what that was. Birch smiled, said he'd make do. He thinks they liked his presentation. The file remains open. The fleet remains at standby. The Meridi request remains pending. And the number, 101.325, is now the most forwarded data point in the Council's 3,000-year archive. It has not been declassified. I do not think it ever will be.